Well, Singer 328, it's the back. Going along the top. Paint's pretty good on the back side. This is made in Great Britain. This is a K model. It's the bobbin area, bobbin case. It's a rotary. I mean, it's an oscillating hook. Even though it looks like it might be a rotary hook. On the front side. See, in pretty good shape to paint. Missing a piece right here. Not quite sure what it's for. Maybe this guide for that to go down, but I don't know. And the back side, inside. Still got an original color roller, and it's soft. That's where the cams go. 9 come with the machine. That's what I have. But there's a total of 30 that were available when this was made. This one was made in 1961 according to the serial number. So, you know, if you look at it from here, the way this end is here, it's a little bit reminiscent of the Rocketeer series, the 500 series of the slant needles. Okay, that's what you essentially get. It'll be listed out piece by piece in the description. Straight stitch plate. I think that black thing is a darning plate. Get those feet there. Couple bobbins. The 9 discs. Broom. Some kind of a hammer. That's some kind of a hammer. And that's a hammer. Hammer. And that's for zippers and cording and such. Box, of course. The foot controller and plugs, all one unit here. See, nice Singer controller. When I pack it for shipping, these will come off. They're plastic. You know, just keep them from getting broken. All 3 of them, they'll be in there. Now I'm going to show you how the bobbin dealie works. As you can see, that's a plastic bobbin. It's clear and it's almost empty. Well, if it was empty, there's a little thumb place there. You just get in there and lift it out, like so. Now this is still engaged, so there we go. Now when you put in a new bobbin, you have to get it like this so the thread comes off to your left, like so. And you just drop it in there. There's a little slot right there. It's hard to see up there probably. Anyway, you hook the bobbin in there, pull it through so it gets under the tension spring, and you bring it across this little groove right there and close the thing, and you see that there's a little hole opening there. So you gotta pull some through as usual. And I'm gonna pull one of these out of here. And then you do what you normally do. You pull out the thread and hold it. Turn this by hand. That should have snagged it. There we go. Just kind of pull it through. There you are. And when you wind the bobbin, which I'm not going to actually do, it's the standard, you know, put the bobbin on there and thread it through this tension disc down below and push that in like that till it touches the wheel. Unlike some machines, there's no automatic bobbin pop up when the bobbin's full. You got to watch it. You just wind it until it's full and then slide that back up, take the bobbin off. And that's how that's done. This is the pressure foot tension adjustment. It's the old-fashioned type where you turn it clockwise, increase tension, turn it counterclockwise, decrease the tension. So combination of right threads for the needle, for the material you're using, plus upper and lower tension and pressure foot tension. You get all that right, you get good sewing experience. Okay, so we want to know that this works. So this is a placemat, some kind of denim. It's already double 2 layers, and I'm using number 18 needle, and I believe this is number 50 nylon thread. That's what I usually sew with. The bobbin is yellow, and of course tab is white. I'm going to fold this in half and sew straight stitches to start with. Now, in order to have zigzag or any other feature on this machine that isn't straight, you have to have a cam up there, and right now the zigzag cam is in there. So this is in the center. I got the stitch width on 0, and I've got that on the longest stitch, which here says it's 6, but we'll see. So I put that in there, put that down, turn the needle into the material, and I've got to stop here and go plug the machine in. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, the light is on, and there's no light switch on this machine, so when you plug it in, it comes on. So, doing a straight stitch. Stop it and run it down smaller. Back wider. Gonna leave some tails on here so we know which one. And what I'm going to show you is the stitch. That's where it got smaller there. Pushed it up to almost 30, and I went back. You can see it's a proper stitch there. And on this side, it's a proper stitch there. Meaning, the reason I use the colors is so if one was pulling through, you could see it. So, so we've seen it sew down the center. Whenever you move the needle, either the stitch length or the stitch width, you want to have the needle out of the material. So I'm going to put it in left. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it moved left. So I'm going to sew I'm going to move it center. Got to click in. And I'm going to move all the way to the right. And as you can see, left, center, right. So again, I'm going to trim these off. Put this back into center. And single stitch, straight stitch throat plate you have to sew in center. I'm going to show you now that that the reverse works. Put it in. Again, making good stitches. Now I'm going to do a zigzag, and you have to use this throat plate and this foot for that. I'm going to put it on max zigzag, which means all the way over number 4. You can use them in between if you want. And I'm going to sew the stitch. I'm going to make it narrower so vary the stitch length there. There you go. And there you go. So you can use the zigzag stitch in any of the positions, any of the center, left, or right position. If you leave it at 4, it won't change positions. It'll always be the same line. If you want to have it sew left or right, you've got to knock the stitch width down to something less than 2.5. In the manual they use 2, and they showed you the same thing I showed you, left, right, and center with the straight stitch. So that's what I'm going to show you now. I'm going to put this on 2, and I'm going to start in the left position here. And do the same thing as I did with the straight stitch. So we're in the left position. I always got to go in first. Make it smaller. Can't have the needle in there when you're changing something. I'm going to put this in the center. Okay. Put it down. And I'm going to put it right. Put it down. It's not as clear that it changed positions but it did. Left, right, center, and then right. I'm going to show you how to change cam. I'm going to replace this zigzag cam with this cam. It's diamonds. So all you have to do is you put the stitch length back to 0. See, it doesn't want to go all the way because I haven't got that in the right position. There we go, locks in. Flip this up, release this, just pop that cam out of there, put the new one in. Little slot there goes with this sticking up. Screw this back in. We're ready to go. Okay, I'm going to sew this diamond pattern with the stitch width on the widest, number 4, and the needle position in the center. And I've moved the stitch length up to about 20. You need to do that to make your pattern, you know, actually show up as a pattern. And let's see what we got. Okay, it still needs to go down some. This is way down almost to 0 here. So you can see that it's tightening up your stitch. Helps those patterns show up. It's the back side. So that function works pretty good. Okay, I'm going to set it up for double needle. To do a double needle, you can just slide it in there with the other one. So let me pull this thread out. I'm going to try to put 2 18s in there. Manual says 14s. Make sure they're all the way up in there. There we go. Don't know if you can see it. We got the 2 needles there. So let me rethread this for another spool. Okay, in addition to the 2 needles, when you thread them, of course there's a double disc set here, so for tension, so you put 1 thread through each of them. And then when you come down here, this last guide, the instructions say leave 1 of them out of that guide. So I left the left one out, so the threads wouldn't be crossing right here. Additionally, when you use a double needle on straight stitch, you have to use the left or center position. And of course, stitch length is 0, but if you're going to use a zigzag function, then it has to be left, needle left position, and you cannot have a stitch width of more than 2 or 2.5. So we're going to do the straight stitch now. So I got it in left, I got it at 0, I got the stitch length on, 6 or whatever it's supposed to be. So let's get that in there. I'll show you that later. I still have that diamond cam in there, so I'm going to stitch that now. So I'm going to put it on 2. And this is still in the left. I'm going to move this up, smaller so we can see it. So let's see what we get. Okay. So tails that we just did on that double stitching. And then here, because you haven't got much width, you can't really see it, but you know, that's what it did. Flip it over, and the back side, because there's only one bobbin thread, you get something like that. This one here. Anyways, so that's working properly. You know, someone who sews a lot will do better. So that's that.